Hey everyone, this is Jane again for LiveSocialCast, and we are here with the one, the only, Dr. Ray Ashley. He is the president and CEO of the Maritime Museum of San Diego, and today he is the captain of the San Salvador. Dr. Ray Ashley, how are you feeling today?
Well, it's great to be here. Great to be here actually with you guys. Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, so, what was it like just putting all of this together and basically, steering the ship for this?
Well, a lot of it was a big project, biggest project we've ever undertaken, and the first time that our museum has ever built a ship from scratch. We restored a lot of vessels, so for us, much of this was a really new thing. And in terms of the size and scale of the project, the largest thing that we've ever undertaken. So as with many projects, there are parts of it that were really, really fun. There were also really very many scary parts too, because we had to raise all this money. There were a lot of aspects of this that, frankly, we had a lot of challenges. We didn't anticipate, some we did, but we had to overcome all of them to be able to get to this point. So it feels good to have done that.
And what inspired you to just spearhead this project?
Well, when I came to this museum about 21 years ago, building the San Salvador was already a project that the museum was considering. It seemed beyond reach at the time, although in other places like the East Coast with the Mayflower replica and the Jamestown replicas, projects like this had been done, and in those locations where it had been done, they were instrumental really in bringing history to a three-dimensional experience for people. So our own history has been to envision this ship and the voyage as our origin story for more than 100 years now. It's just that we didn't have the physical embodiment of that the same way that you have with the Mayflower or the Jamestown ships. So it was a pretty well-established idea that it would be a nice thing to have even then, 20 years ago. As our museum continued to evolve and grow, our capacity increased, and we thought this may be something we might take on, and that not only would we have this ship, but just the experience of building it would be transformative for our institution, and it's kind of gone about that way.
And as your background, as a historian and entrepreneur, how did those talents and gifts contribute to this amazing project that you've put together?
Probably it encouraged me and our institution to overextend ourselves and embark on something that was probably barely within our reach. It turned out to be that we were able to, of course, overcome all those challenges. I think those things are really helpful, being entrepreneurial, and our whole organization is that way. It's very entrepreneurial. And of course, what we are selling is we're selling history. We're selling the experience of stepping back into the past. So the background and the trajectory we'd been on for a long time, I think, had been preparing us for doing this.
And the Maritime Museum of San Diego is home to a huge and beautiful collection of ships. And how is San Salvador going to be added to that collection in a meaningful and influential way?
Well, I think one of the things that makes us, if not unique, then very rare, is that most museums of any kind are in buildings. And inside the building, you find it's all subdivided into galleries, right? So in a history museum, you'll see galleries that represent different periods and eras and so forth, and that's the normal museum experience. Outdoor living history parks, though, typically recreate a landscape or like a historic home, or even most historic ships, the great big ones, recreate one moment in time. So if you go to Gettysburg, it's only ever 1863, right? What's very rare is when you have an outdoor living history park that has different periods. And in terms of maritime or naval museums, Portsmouth Naval Dockyard in England, I think, is about the only place that does that. So each of these ships represents a different period in the story of our relationship with the sea. Each of them is kind of like a time machine that you step into, and you can step into the past. That only works as a chronological narrative if you have chapter one. And what San Salvador does is it starts that sequence off, and really all the other ships make more sense as a result of that.
And can you walk us through what we get to experience today watching the Parade of Sail and seeing the San Salvador leading the way?
Well, every year we do this Festival of Sail. It's a tall ship festival, and it's the largest outdoor event that takes place on the San Diego waterfront, and it's the largest tall ships festival on the West Coast. I believe this is like our 14th or 15th time that we've done this. So today we'll have a typical start where a whole parade of tall ships, as many of them sailing as possible. We won't be sailing the San Salvador because she doesn't have her complete rig yet, but the other ones will be, and they're going to parade all in order 100 yards apart, all down the bay and past all the spots that people can be to view the ships. And then they'll all be coming in, and following all the docking of the ships, we'll have a commissioning ceremony for the San Salvador, surrounded by this sort of wonderful spectacle of all these tall ships. So it'll be a really fun thing and a memorable one, I think, for all the volunteers that help build build the San Salvador.
That is so incredibly exciting. Thank you so much, Dr. Ray Ashley. Congratulations on this amazing journey that you've been on and seeing it all come to fruition today.
Well,
we really
thank you.
appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate you
Thank you
covering
so
the story.
much.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys, thanks.